The anticipation and excitement are getting higher among fans as UFC 322 is fast approaching, where Islam Makhachev will make his welterweight debut. The Dagestani star will face Jack Della Maddalena to get his second UFC belt. MMA pros highly rate JDM's power, but Islam isn't bothered by the striking and size of his opponent. Islam Makhachev doesn't even believe Jack Della Maddalena has exceptional power, saying he isn't particularly big for the division. He compares Jack to fighters like Belal Muhammad and Kamaru Usman, who possess real knockout strength, and adds that he doesn't think Jack is stronger than him.
What about the power? I mean, I talked about like the ability to wrestle guys and trying to get them down. The punching power at 170.
He's not like some guy who have like crazy power, like, and he not so big in this division, like for example, Bilal, he have like power, like Kamaru Usman, this guy has like good power, but I don't think like Jack have some more than me,
Islam Makhachev also shares that his training camp for his welterweight debut has been one of the hardest of his career. He explains that he gained weight and brought in much bigger sparring partners, which made the sessions tougher than usual. The early part of camp focused heavily on weightlifting and strength work, changing up his usual training routine. Makhachev adds that he's feeling good now, though still slightly jet-lagged from traveling, and expects to feel fully ready in a few days.
How has it felt, this camp, getting ready to try to take something instead of defend it?
This camp is really hard, I gain weight and become big, and the opponent, my sparring partners, I changed that. Some guys, they're also very big, that's why it's very hard camp. We did like first camp for the lifting, it's the weights which I use in the training. Everything is changing, it's become very hard. And now I feel good, just still a little bit jet lag after the fly, and like a couple days more and I will be.
Islam Makhachev explains that preparing for bigger opponents required him and his coaches to change many aspects of his training. He says gaining size has been the toughest part, as it's difficult to put on weight while training hard twice a day. Over the past few months, he has been using creatine, protein after every session, and eating more to build muscle. Makhachev adds that the process has been challenging, but he's finally starting to feel bigger and stronger heading into his welterweight debut.
What has been the biggest difference going with these bigger guys? Like, what have you found that you need to change about your approach facing these bigger opponents?
Yeah, like a lot of things we change, like many things. We sit with the coaches and we make the plan, and very difficult to gain the weight. I finally become a little bit big now, because I try to, like last couple of months, it's very hard. I use like creatine, protein after every training. I try to eat more, but it's very hard when you train twice a day. When you're training hard, it's very hard to gain weight.
Moreover, Demetrius Johnson predicted that Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena could go either way, very boring or very exciting. He praised Della Maddalena for taking on the challenge and noted that size-wise, the matchup seemed even. Johnson highlights that JDM is Craig Jones and Alexander Volkanovski, helping him prepare for Dagestani wrestling. He explains that if Makhachev manages to take JDM down and control him, the fight could become slow, but if JDM defends well, it could turn into a banger.
It turned out to be a banger fight. For him to take on a guy like Islam Makhachev, not steering away from that challenge. Islam is coming up, so he's going to be, I feel like comparably size-wise, they're going to be about even, Islam's super good. JDM's got Craig Jones in the camp to, battle.
And Volkanovski.
To battle that, Dagestan wrestling. It's going to be, it could be two things. It could be a very, very boring fight, or it could be a very, very exciting fight. Meaning by the way it could be boring is if Islam's able to take down JDM and get his back, hold him there, out grapple him, stifle him. He could potentially do that. But
Demetrius Johnson highlighted Jack Della Maddalenna's relentless mindset, saying he never settles for bad positions. He referenced the Gilbert Burns fight, where JDM was immediately working to stand back up and kept attacking even after being taken down. Johnson praised his persistence in grappling exchanges and strong anti-wrestling skills, calling those traits key to what makes this matchup so intriguing. He added that JDM's boxing is clean and precise, making this a rare clash between two of the best fighters from 155 to 100 170 pounds.
But the one thing I love about JDM when he fights is he never accepts the position. When he was fighting Gilbert Burns, great grappler, takes him down. Right when he gets up, he throws that knee into the void. Gilbert Burns ducks down into it. He runs into it. JDM doesn't accept the position when he gets taken down. He's always looking to grapple, always looking to anti-wrestle. That's what makes this fight exciting. And he's got some fucking good hands. He's not the way his boxing is, he's very tight. I'm excited for that fight just because we're seeing the best at 155 take on the best at 170. It's very rare when the moons align.
Furthermore, Islam Makhachev also acknowledged that Jack Della Maddalena's wrestling isn't top level, but praised his composure and skill on the ground. He highlighted Jack's strong boxing, striking, and ability to defend, escape, and recover when taken down. Makhachev added that despite weaker wrestling, Jack's overall ground defense and striking make him one of the world's best and illegitimate champion.
Honestly, yeah, I watch all his fight. He's good. Striking is good. His boxing is very good, you know. And his wrestling not so good, but he good in the ground. He know how to defend, how to escape, how to get up, you know. He have good skills in the ground also, but I saw his wrestling just not good, but he know how to defend, you know. And like he's striking really good. That's why he's one of the best in the world, and he's a world champion right now.
Islam Makhachev noted that although many of Jack Della Maddalena's opponents have taken him down, exposing his wrestling weaknesses, Jack remains calm on the ground. He avoids panicking and making mistakes, and knows how to defend, escape, and recover, which keeps him effective during grappling exchanges.
What about his wrestling isn't good? What is he doing wrong?
I saw his defense, you know. A lot of guys take him down. Like I think all his opponents in UFC take him down, but he feel good in the ground. When somebody take him down, he not panic, like try to do some mistake, and he know how to defend.
Meanwhile, George Masvidal believes Islam Makhachev is the most dominant ground fighter in MMA today. He explains that once Makhachev gets the fight to the mat, no one matches his control or submission ability. Masvidal adds that Islam also delivers heavy damage with strikes, describing him as a nightmare on the ground and pointing to his performance against Charles Oliveira as proof.
Islam Makhachev and Jack Magdalena.
I got Islam.
It's a good fight.
Yeah,
it's a good ass fight.
I think that's a really good fight for Islam. Islam's top control is different than Bilal. Like Islam.
Oh yeah, no, that 100%. I think he's the best guy on the ground, on the mat. Once it hits the mat, nobody else has better ground control, submissions, just everything. On the ground, he's a real life nightmare. Strikes as well, he does damage. I would easily say Makhachev is the best ground fighter right now, you know, especially after what he did to Charles Oliveira. You know, what he's done to so many guys it's crazy.
George Masvidal wonders if Islam Makhachev can handle Jack Della Maddalena's size, athleticism, and strong defensive wrestling. He notes that Jack has shown solid takedown defense in past fights, though Islam's technical skill and judo sweeps are on another level. Masvidal believes Islam could dominate early if he secures a takedown and drains Jack's energy, but he also sees Jack as a new kind of threat. He praises Jack's boxing, saying his stance switches and sharp hands make him one of the best strikers in the UFC.
Is he going to be able to deal with the size and the defensive athleticism wrestling of Jack? Because Jack could wrestle pretty damn good defensively, you know, and he showed out against Bilal. Bilal, I know, is not Islam with the technical savviness, especially up against the cage, because I feel like Islam has several degrees with his foot sweeps, his judo, a lot of the things that he does, like really, really slick, you know. So it could be early on in the fight, and Islam could get you down and get you tired early, you know. He's very, very good at doing that. But that being said, I think Jack is a threat he's never faced before. I think Jack, and to be honest with you, Jack has some of the best hands right now in the UFC, bar none. Like, I could see this guy throwing hands with anybody. He's not gonna have a problem. The way he switches stance, it's like he's a Terrence Crawford, man.
Bilal Muhammad also believes it would be an easy night for Islam Makhachev if he takes Jack Della Maddalena down. He explains that Makhachev's ground game is on another level, while Jack tends to make too many mistakes once the fight hits the mat. Bilal adds that although Jack is good at scrambling, Islam doesn't allow opponents any space to do that.
I mean, honestly, for me, it's full focus on Ian. If I'm looking at that fight, stylistically, I think if Islam gets to the ground, it's going to be a easy night. Islam's ground game is so good. I think JDM makes a lot of mistakes on the ground. With this scrambling, he's very good at it, but I think that Islam doesn't let you scramble. So if you scramble, he's good at locking in chokes or locking in arm triangles. But you still got to get it to the ground first, right? So it's fun. It's going to be good to see how he is on the feet with JDM, who's kind of tricky. But I think if Islam gets to the ground, Islam will get his hand raised.
Meanwhile, Kamaru Usman hints that his next fight could be against either Islam Makhachev or Jack Della Maddalena, but he admits he isn't sure if it will be the winner. When praised for details, he says he expects to face one of them eventually, expressing hope that everything lines up for the matchup to happen soon.
Other than that, do you have any fight news yourself, dude, or is Kamaru dude gonna be at MSG? Winner wins all. Drop it right here on Pound for Pound. Are you fighting the winner of Islam Makhachev and JDM? Drop it.
Yes, I'm gonna be fighting
the winner.
Those guys. Oh,
the winner.
Those guys. I don't know, but
dude,
I'm gonna be fighting those guys. I don't know.
For all you fans that are watching, I got a feeling Kamaru D.
Hopefully, I will be fighting, inshallah. Hopefully.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Islam Makhachev explains that if his fight with Ilia Topuria happens at lightweight, Dana White would need to pay him extra since cutting to 155 pounds would be difficult. He says competing at 170 pounds is easier and makes more sense for him. Makhachev adds that even after his next training camp and once he adjusts his weight from using creatine and protein, he'll decide whether he can make the lightweight limit again.
He's talking about you win, he wants to go up to 170. I imagine that's probably where you would want to fight, because you don't want to go back to 155, right? You don't want to have to be sitting there and cutting weight again, right? So you're on board with this idea of 170?
Yeah, if you come, it's gonna be better for me, If I have to cut 155, man, it's gonna be hard, and then I might have to pay for this.
Maybe you would need some time, right? But I guess if after Ramadan you could cut back down to 155, right? Because sometimes when you work hard to put on,
we also lose weight. We'll see after the fight, when I stop to use the creatine and protein. We'll see how much is my weight.
However, Henry Cejudo believes Ilia Topuria moving up to face Islam Makhachev would disrupt the natural order of both divisions. He argues that Ilia should first clear out featherweight before considering a jump to lightweight. Cejudo recalls how he wasn't allowed to move up without defending his own title, noting that fighters like Volkanovski earned that chance by first proving dominance in their division. He feels rushing Ilia into a super fight would throw everything off.
There's been a lot of buzz about Ilia and Islam potentially scrapping. You know what I'm saying? That would throw a huge wrench in everything, because I don't feel like I feel like Ilia needs to clear out the division before he decides to go up. Like, honestly, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they didn't grant me
who else do you need to clear out?
At 55, there's Gaethje.
Oh,
There's Patty.
Yeah, but he was
There's
never
Armin.
meant to stay at 55.
Armin, remember, dude, like, he won the belt, he defended the belt, then he went up. It's not like he ranged 145 pounds like forever. I think
That's true, but
I making it.
Of them dudes,
No, of course, but
everybody got
look,
their
can I tell you something? So did I.
Henry Cejudo uses his own career as an example, noting that he had to earn every opportunity before moving to a new division. He recalls beating the big names at bantamweight, who were all elite opponents and future Hall of Famers. Cejudo says he wasn't given the chance to move up easily, so he made history the hard way. That's why he believes if Ilia Topuria jumps straight to fight Islam Makhachev, it would completely disrupt the competitive balance.
Look at my title reign. Hold on real quick, Kush, because I do got to use myself as an example. Beat Demetrius Johnson, longest win streak. Then I beat TJ Dillashaw on EPO, knocked his ass out. And then I fought Marlon Moraes going upperweight division, number one contender, beat him and knocked him out too. And then Dominic Cruz. These are all the 3 out of those 4 fighters are future Hall of Famers, dude. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't granted that. You know what I'm saying? So I just decided, hey, screw it, book it. I'm out. You know, I've always wanted to make history. I always wanted to, 1, make money, and 2, make history, or 1, make history, and along with that comes the money. So if Ilia does come in and fight Islam Makhachev, that just throws everything completely off, Kush. And I know you probably thought about it.
On the other hand, Islam Makhachev laughed at the idea of Paddy Pimblett getting a title shot against Ilia Topuria, questioning what Paddy has done to earn it. He pointed out that everyone had already beaten Michael Chandler and that Pimblett hadn't faced elite competition. Makhachev said a fight between Ilia Topuria and Arman Tsarukyan would make far more sense since Arman has real skills in striking, wrestling, and grappling, while Paddy wouldn't pose a serious challenge for the champion.
And now I don't know who's gonna be next for Ilya.
Kind of feels like Paddy is sort of the most likely one. It's a vision.
No, man. Maybe Arman, maybe Gaethje, but not Paddy for sure.
How come?
Man, I don't know who. Paddy beat who? Like Tony Ferguson, who else he beat?
Michael Chandler.
Everybody beat Chandler. I don't know, maybe. Honestly, it's not big challenge for Topuria. If he beat Arman, it's like, it's, you know, very like, because Arman have good skills, striking, wrestling, grappling. He's a like good fighter, but Paddy, nobody checked Paddy before.
However, Paddy Pimblett is very eager to fight Ilia Topuria and is trying to make that fight happen with his trash talk. He recently went off on Ilia Topuria, demanding that he sign the contract. He claimed that nobody would even know who Topuria was if it weren't for him, saying Ilia built his fame through Paddy's name. Pimblett called Topuria fake, accusing him of having fake followers and copying Conor McGregor's style. He also mocked Ilia's nationality, insisting he's actually German since he was born there, not Spanish or Georgian as he claims.
I will inflict pain on his life. He wouldn't come out of that fight looking the same. I'd hit him with that many elbows. Is this going out to Spanish media? Step up, Ilia. Stop being a chorizo. Be a man. You know, no one would know who Ilia Topuria was if it wasn't for me. He made himself famous off the back of my name. He wouldn't even be a champ now if it wasn't for him jumping on my coattails. And now he thinks he's too good to fight me. You wouldn't be where you are without me. The Bernabeu's a nice stadium, know what I mean? But to me, because it's his backyard, it's a shithole. That's like a metaphor, it's like what we say. I will come to the Bernabeu and I will punch his face in on the pitch and then I'll batter half the team if I need to. But I'm taking the belt home because he's not a Madrid fan. He's not even from Madrid. He's not even from Spain. He's from Benidorm, so he's not a Madrid fan. He just jumped on the coattails to get more fans and more followers. He's fake. He's so fake, like half of his followers, where it's been proven half his followers on Instagram are bots. He's the fakest person ever. He's just a McGregor copycat, and I'm getting sick of him. He's a German. He's not even Spanish, he's not even Georgian. He was born in Germany, he's German.
So, there are a lot of chances that either Paddy or Justin Gaethje will get the opportunity to face Ilia Topuria for the lightweight title in January 2026. However, Henry Cejudo and George Masvidal both disagree with the idea of Justin Gaethje getting the next shot at Ilia Topuria. Cejudo says he'd rather see Topuria face Paddy Pimblett since there's already history between them. Masvidal adds that Gaethje doesn't deserve the opportunity after being finished by Max Holloway, arguing that Max should be the top contender instead, especially after his big win over Dustin Poirier.
I think Ilya's legit, bro. But I think there's, you know, I'd like to see him against Paddy. If you ask me which fight would be better, that I would want to watch, I'd like to see him against Paddy. There's already history there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's the fight I want to see too. I don't know which one's the fight currently up for Ilya.
Yeah, they're talking about Gaethje, and Gaethje's my boy, but
I just don't see how Gaethje though. When Max ended him,
yeah,
and Max also beat Dustin, so I know it doesn't make sense because Ilya just beat him at 45. But the number one contender, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, is Max Holloway at 155, right? Didn't he beat Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje? Like,
yeah,
it's pretty crazy to me. And he has the biggest name ID as well, so I would think Max should be in the mix.
On the other hand, Dan Hooker is also excited for his fight against Arman Tsarukyan and finds the matchup motivating because most people view Arman as the more skilled and athletic fighter. He believes that anything he does well in the fight will make Arman look worse, considering his reputation as a future champion and the one many think could beat Ilia Topuria. The thought of Tsarukyan losing to the guy from New Zealand, who's lost a third of his fights, makes the challenge even sweeter for him. Dan Hooker said, "This fight excites me because they feel like Arman is a lot better than I am. It's like anything anything good that I do? Arman is going to look more like an idiot. He was supposed to be the super freak athlete, title contender, the guy to beat Ilia Topuria. They're hiding the champion from him, and now he's losing to Dan Hooker, the bloke from New Zealand who's lost a third of his fights. Dan Hooker insists travel and time zones never bother him when facing Arman Tsarukyan. He points out he has fought all over the world and won't complain about fighting at any hour or in any place, early morning, a sauna, or even Antarctica. He'll take the bout.
I'm not one of those people, one of those fighters that stresses. Like traveling, something I've done a million times. I've gone to London, I've traveled the whole way around the world, let alone half the way around the world. There's a direct flight, 17 hours. I just don't care about any of that sort of stuff. If you time difference, I couldn't care less. If you knock me on the noggin at 2 o'clock in the morning and Arman Tsarukyan standing there, like, I will fight. Like, it's not something I have to stress about. If you put us in a sauna, I will fight him. If you put us in Antarctica, I will still wake up and fight him. All of that stuff, yeah, it's just outside noise. It's outside noise. I'm sure that's more than enough time to be feeling good by the fight.
Dan Hooker believes Arman Tsarukyan is the real route to the lightweight title. He explains that fighting Justin Gaethje wouldn't move him closer to becoming champion, it would only bring him more damage. In his view, Tsarukyan represents the path to being the best and earning a title shot.
Justin Gaethje's not that guy. Justin Gaethje doesn't get me to that guy. Justin Gaethje gets me a headache. And a headache and some more money. Like, who cares? Arman Tsarukyan is the path to the title. That's the path to being the champ. That's the path to being the best guy.
That wraps up today's video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more MMA updates and reactions.